Hello everybody, it's Cree Crazy here. Wrestling Rant 20 is now on the cards. You know what that means. 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, 15 minutes of fame 4. Now, yeah, I'm a little bit excited because I have been looking forward to doing this one. This is one thing that we all know about. All wrestling fans know about what I'm going to talk about. Wrestling logistics. Now, if you have no idea what I mean by that, you'll obviously know that it's things behind the scenes. Because growing up as a wrestling fan, you believe what you see. You fully buy into kayfabe. And it's something every wrestling fan admits to have done at some point. You believe everything is real, etc., etc. Then you realise it's fake, and it's where you start. If you stick on as a fan after finding that out, which a lot of you would have, you'd notice that you get into the knowledge of this stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Whether it is the face to heel turn, face and heel business, popularity, psychology in matches, whether that actually becomes important to you, knowing the storylines before it happens, backstage politics, the knowledge of all that, and everything else in between. That is wrestling logistics, people. Because everyone who's a wrestling fan who has grown up with it starts to become a smart, an insider, a person who believes they know what's the best, so effectively they can help make the company better in their own eyes. So, when I look at the wrestling logistics that are currently being used, I think to myself, is there anything different that can be done? I mean, I first of all look at face versus heel, because nowadays we only know this happens. It's easier to build a heel than it is to build a face. Now, I can admit this easily because all the guys who have debuted in recent times, apart from, I would say, Daniel Bryan and Sin Cara, have all been practically heels. The Nexus were heels, even though they debuted on NXT as a mix of face and heel. You get what I'm saying. And it's just, if you guys have watched actually, I'll put it in this way. Sheamus, a heel. Drew McIntyre, a heel. Alberto Del Rio, a heel. And if you think there's some more in there too, possibly, Jack Swagger even, in 2009 when he debuted, heel. This is the thing. It is easier to get someone to hate you than it is to get people to love you. And that is, in real life, something that is also easy to replicate. So it makes it easier. You come in, you do something to get under everybody's skin. Yeah? You get that? And then you got to do something to win the crowd over. Because to win the crowd over in WWE, however, it's a little bit harder than that. Because you got to ship the merch, you got to talk, and you have to be able to get the crowd up on their feet and going mental. Hey, CM Punk does that to me, and he hasn't been a face since 2008. Ha! So when you think about it, where's WWE going to go here? Do they keep building heels? No, because even the heels keep turning face all of a sudden. And the faces keep turning to heels. We want the faces to become heels because that's what we think they'll do best. However, we want heels to become faces so that people have been going around the internet saying that Miz should be a face. Why? He wouldn't be a good face at all. It's like saying, oh, Christian would be a good heel. Despite the fact he's good at both, I think he should remain a face for the time being. Randy Orton was better as a heel than he is a face. But he's only a face because of his popularity and his cheering, which only lasts for the first 10 seconds of his entrance anyway. I just keep thinking face versus heel. WWE do a hard time. They don't even bother building a face. Because what effectively, who can I say, apart from John Cena, Randy Orton has really, actually, and also Christian, because he's risen up from just being a face generally. Who else has really risen to become a big face star in this company in the last, probably say, 5-10 years? No, actually not 10 years, it's too much. 5 years. 5 years. Who has actually been built as a bona fide face? Okay, John Morrison, but he started off as a heel as well. Eminem back in 2005. Yeah, where does it end? Because the face versus heel debacle is that heels are more loved by the OWC. As if you look online, you obviously can tell. And faces are loved by the kids. Yay! But that's not a good thing. They have to be loved by each and every person because the faces are portrayed in such a way that we hate them enough so they end up turning heel anyway to try and get them to please us. Yeah? And I think to myself, a lot. If they build the faces as much as they built a heel, then I just think there'd be a lot more of on either side, because SmackDown is apparently low on heels, even though it doesn't actually look it, and I think there's just too many faces on Raw to actually give two shits about. So I look at it. Actually, I'm not joking here, because on SmackDown they say it's low on heels. Mark Henry, Sheamus, and Cody Rhodes, to name three of them. There are more on there. Ted DiBiase is also a heel. I can't really go on. I'm a bit tired. It is literally gone 10 past midnight here. But I just think to myself, faces, they've got too many. And even on Raw, they've got, well, basically the only ones you can point out by name is John Cena. Then that's about it, really, because the only person who's actually on Raw who is a face regularly is Cena, because Morrison's out with an injury. So yeah, I was thinking, do you think there should be a more even spread of faces and heels? Because to me, I think there's too many of one, or there just isn't enough of the other. What do you think? Put your comments in there. The concept of psychology, though, is something I only realised until about about 2 years ago as a reason for watching, because I didn't realise what people meant by in-ring psychology. Basically the way of telling the story, because people who know it's fake, like we all do in the end, and keep on going with it, you then realise how they tell the story, whether it's selling moves, taking the hits, stiff hits, and just generally making the match, one, epic in its own self and believable. If you work on a body part consistently throughout a match, and the opponent sells that beating on that body part, that's psychology. And people often think the storytelling in a match is more important than anything else. As a wrestling fan, I couldn't agree more. But this is the one thing WWE has seeming to kind of work on in recent months. Because I've recently looked at wrestling matches. If you've not watched in the last 2 or 3 years and you've stumbled upon this video, the fact is, I've been watching some matches, not since I think around 2008. I haven't really seen many good uses of psychology in matches, because it's more they get hit, they get back up, they hit another guy, then they get back up, and it just keeps going until one guy gets beaten to the point where they just get up and get their finishing move and win. Or in Cena's case, he gets his ass kicked for 95% of the match, comes up, hits his 5 moves of doom, and wins the match without showing any sign of actually being beat up in any way or form. That's the kind of thing, that's the kind of psychology or storytelling that effectively should not be there. And I look at where it is now, and I actually looked at Over the Limit. There were a few good places of psychology where actually Brie Bella was actually working on the arm of Kelly Kelly, when Mason Ryan and CM Punk were working on the leg of the Big Show to get him down. That was quite cool, and that's exactly what I'm talking about here. They've got to try and make the match actually work for something here. And they haven't done that in recent times, which has pissed me off, and it's pissed a lot of other people off. I look back at some of these matches where they sell the moves extremely well, and then they take the punishment and still feel... Because sometimes, if you ever watch a Randy Orton match, I'll give this an example for you. Hell in a Cell this past year, right? Against Sheamus, went through quite a big, brutal match. He was thrown around the places a bit by Sheamus. He then won it at the end of it, and then he ended up just getting to the top of this, not really showing any sign of injury or hurt. That's going against Hell in a Cell for you. But in-ring psychology makes us get more interesting, going, okay, he's limping a bit, but we can still get behind him thinking he might win it. Because the predictability is one of the reasons that have hampered psychology. It's important to get us to knowing, oh, this guy's hurt, but he's still going to fight on. Is he going to do it? Even the blood in matches should technically be there in the advancement of storytelling. The blood will show the intensity, thinking, oh, he hates this guy so much, he wants to bust him open and cause him illegitimate pain. And this is the thing. Psychology and storytelling in wrestling should be used to make the matches better. And I don't understand why WWE has such a problem with this. It's thinking, oh, the hero gets beat down, yet he comes back up and saves the day. Yeah, this isn't a fucking comic book. This isn't entertainment. This is sport, where in my opinion, anybody can win. If you ever watch a football match or an NFL match or any form of sport, right? Anyone. The underdog has a chance of beating the giant. The giant can easily squash the underdog. Or you can have such an even contest to the point where it becomes really entertaining for the neutral or ridiculously boring for the ones at the helm. This is the kind of thing WWE needs to work on to make their product a lot more entertaining. Instead of having a lopsided thing where the bad guy crushes him or the good guy comes up from being crushed and wins, they need to have it more even. But just like the world title match this past pay-per-view, Christian Randy Orton was a perfect example of how a match should be done, where both guys look to be look to have an equal chance of winning the match. That is effectively what it should be. And if it isn't, I don't know what WWE is spoon-feeding the kids of today's PG generation. But if that isn't how a match should be done, then I don't even know why I'm even talking about this. Because a match should be won, or at least be done that way. Ranting takes a lot out of me. And the one last thing about wrestling logistics and everything is the status of backstage politics, because I think you all know where backstage politics lies. The example being of Sheamus being the bench press gym buddy of Triple H. The minute people find out about that, he's in the title picture winning championships. Right. I get it. Backstage politics is really bad, actually. People say, oh, it's a bad idea to keep people out of the limelight because they're not ready. Hold on a second. Mr. Kennedy was ready. He just got injured a lot. And the thing is, I'm going back to Randy Orton again because he's such a figurehead in this crap. I mean, if you look at it, how many careers he's flattened in the past couple of years. The two most ones I know of best are Mr. Kennedy and Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston was in a great feud, made a mistake, kicked him in the head, and one punch went stupid all over again, and where'd that push go? Halted. Kennedy got released because he apparently nearly injured him. Backstage politics, The Undertaker is a so-called figurehead in the locker room, and people who get on the good side of him get put on SmackDown very well. And I've never understood why getting on McMahon's good side would get you a lot of it. Oh, sure, it'll make you feel... Apparently, that's why Cena's doing well. Oh, he's kissing Mr. McMahon's ass. Therefore, he's going to get somewhere big. No. If the thing is, this is where people always hate the wrestling business, because you're not put at the top based on your merits, your abilities as a wrestler. You're basically put in order of whether the guys at the top of the business, whether it be Undertaker, Triple H, or Mr. McMahon, are basically saying, look, this guy's a good friend of mine, I feel he's got talent, put him in the ring and we'll show what happens. If he fails, just get rid of him and never see him again. And then if he does great, keep him there. And that's the problem. It just creates a really bad thing. It's like a democracy. It's not even like a democracy at all. It's like a pressure group with elitist ideas, where the leaders of that group are effectively using their own ideals, their own ideologies, and ways of dealing with the situation without consulting the others, where everyone isn't getting their fair say, where the guys at the top are effectively doing what they please. That's what we call in politics an elective dictatorship, and that is bad. Now, I think if backstage politics didn't exist, WWE would be in a better place. And I think it would be, because you wouldn't have all this bullshit, and surely as hell you would not have seen the Montreal Screwjob. But in the same case, if you didn't see the Montreal Screwjob, we wouldn't be here right now talking about this kind of thing. Because the clique were everywhere, they pushed people down, they did everything you could have thought of to make other guys feel weak and up inside the locker room. They got everything they pleased from it. Now that is one example of putting it to the extreme. But backstage politics, in my opinion, shouldn't exist. It should be gone. Could it just be a company where you fight through? Basically like a boxing thing, which is basically you do what you can and you come out the winner regardless. Sure, this is a storyline business where you have to have everything done, everything written, everything like that, but it doesn't work if you're technically building up a championship pyramid scheme from top to bottom, where the guys at the top get everything, and the guys at the bottom, say Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Santino Marella, are all getting left there to rot on Superstars with Chris Masters and all those guys, where they can't do shit. Yeah, you got to push the right people, but Zack Ryder is being loved by the fans, not so much by Mr. McMahon, and that's the reason why he's not getting pushed. Hello, you got a good guy there, push him. It doesn't matter about politicking. If he's actually doing something good for the fans, push him. Yeah, you take signs away, but the fans will speak in the end. The fans are mightier than the people in the back. Sure, people may not think that, but I do, and it works. Trust me. Because backstage politics, fuck them. I don't really give a shit about backstage politics, but in this case, I want it gone. I don't care. I just want it gone so it's fairer. That's my rant, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this. I will be back next week. Yay! With wondering whether TNA and Ring of Honor are really competition for WWE. I'll see you guys then. Hope you have a fantastic week and good luck to Swansea tomorrow. See ya.